Hello there. What's going on, everybody? I am trying to mess around with some stuff. I figured I'd do a live chat with you guys today. I got my second AAT that just showed up today, so I'm excited about that. This was my pre-ordered AAT, and yeah, so it's finally here. I pulled out the airbrush on my first AAT, so I had to actually buy this one. If you guys hadn't already seen my AAT unboxing, basically I pre-ordered one of everything from Asmodee. This is my pre-order. It showed up super late, but just showed up today, like an hour ago. So finally, nice to know that like these were officially street dated as of last week, and now it's showing up in the middle of this week. You know, it's usually they're like a whole week behind. These should have showed up like Monday of last week. They're actually more than a week behind, but I don't know. I've been picking on Asmodee a little bit lately because of this, mostly because it cost me extra money because I had to go out and buy another AAT so I could have one to review for you guys. Since who knows when this one, actually the tracking info on this said it wasn't going to be here until tomorrow. So like that was something. And so I pulled out the airbrush and I did some work on this guy last night. So he came out. I still have a lot more work to do on him. I got to do a lot of detailing, but I did some taping off of this part, and so that much came out mostly good. I did some kind of cool with these scorch marks here, and that I loaded up some black in the airbrush, and I just cut. This was actually the flap, I think, of the AAT box, and since it's kind of a harder thing, and I just held that over, right, and held it up a little bit so it wouldn't be quite so hard of a line. And that's what kind of got a little bit of that fade effect going on there. And that worked out pretty well. Problem is there were some places where it, like, you could see I sprayed it too low, and then you had that line there, so I went to try to go back over. It's just going to be imperfect. But I don't know. I don't think I'll go back over it again because this is already a blend of, like, flesh and wood. For the like the orangey effect that I got here. But I started putting some wash in on the lines. And then I'm going to do some highlighting on the metal, or, some different colors on that, and then some different colors in here, and some stuff in there, and all of that. So, yeah, so that's kind of how that one's coming out. I also did I bought an extra thing of Wookiees, and I decided to airbrush them, and I did them lighter. I'm going to have them be like a lighter shade of brown than my other Wookiees. And so I just used a lot of the same colors on the Wookiees. I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone, and then if you guys remember, a while back, I stripped some of my Rebel Troopers. I think this was my first ever Rebel Troopers, and I kind of based them in the same colors. But it's an interesting thing happened when I stripped my Rebel Troopers. I lost one of the arms. So as my leader here, I lost his arm. So I took, this was the funniest thing. Actually, I dried a lot thinner, but I took this putty. This Tamiya putty. It's kind of like, it's not exactly green stuff, but it's usually used to glue plastics together when nothing else will work. And I just draped it on there. So it's like he's got a flap. So basically he lost an arm and he's got just part of his jacket's like covering it, hanging down right now. So we're going to paint him up. I don't know where his arm is. And I still might want to potentially field 6 Rebel Troopers. Maybe. I do love the Z6, right? So I got a lot of work to do on these guys, but I haven't done any painting in a while, and so I figured I'd pull out all the stuff that I had to paint, and I'd kind of get it all set up. And there we go. And if you haven't already seen my K2SO, he's just based. I haven't really started on him yet. He's a 4-armed version, and this was a really fun. He's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't play Rebels all that often. But maybe I'll play Rebels more. I mean, I've got the makings. I'm thinking of doing a Cassian and K2 list specifically with triple Wookiees because I want to run triple Wookiees. Although Cassian doesn't really, he kind of works better with Pathfinders. But I'm like, well, why not triple Wookiees? I mean, wouldn't they benefit from like that low profile on certain cards, right? Like they could. So yeah, that's part of the dream. And maybe Chewbacca too, because we could do Cassian as commander, Cassian and K2 and Chewbacca, then triple Wookiee, and a couple of rebel soldiers or whatever. Put some medics in there, something like that. I got to figure it out. But that's kind of the plan. What are you guys up to? How's it going, everybody? So what else is on pre-order? I've got everything. Everything has come in that I had on pre-order. Actually, tomorrow I've got a Vital Assets build coming up, so that much is new. I'm going to open this thing up and maybe start putting it together a little bit, because these were a pain in the butt. Because I want to also prime this thing. I don't know, because I might be playing soon. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a double AAT build or not, or just a single AAT build. But I'd like to be able to run a double AAT build if possible. That would be really fun. But I don't know if I'll have it all painted in time for that. So we've got that. And also, I'm going to bring up a lesson learned in this video as I'm pulling all this stuff out, because I do have a lesson learned if you wanted to magnetize. So I'm going to set some of this aside for right now. Let me make some room, because I got paint all over here and I can't start building stuff when I got paint everywhere. It's just not conducive. I'm much too cluttered right now. Much too cluttered. All right. Did I wash the ATST yet? I think you mean the AAT. My ATSTs were done years ago. I have wash only in the lines, and it's very much like a wash that's almost the same color. So I do have a little bit of a wash. All right. So here's the lesson learned. I've heard some people talk about magnetizing the turret. Now, I did not glue my turret in, although I think maybe some of the paint dried. There we go. So it's a little bit tight. So like you can just kind of keep that in there and just move it around. It's not going to come out that easy, but it's not in there super securely, right? So I think if you were going to magnetize it, one thing you might do is put a magnet on the underside of here and on the underside of here. But the problem is it'll be really tricky to get a magnet right up in there because you can barely fit a finger in, right? It would be really tricky to do that, and it'd be really tricky to get one up in there, unless you're doing that while you're assembling it. Now, for this part, it would be easy because you've got this right here, and you don't do this until much later, right? But by the time I realized what I might have wanted to do, this is the very first step, is taking like this part and gluing it together. So if you're going to magnetize, when you're doing your very first step, and I think I'm gonna do this at least for learning purposes, like get it right here, like do it right now, right? Like put that magnet in there right now, and also make absolutely sure, like I would say glue both pieces right away, and make sure. Oh wow, yeah. Wait, it's gonna be that way. It's gonna be that way. I would say glue both pieces and make sure that you've got the polarity right so that they actually lock and don't push each other away. But that would be a really cool way to do it, is lock those in with magnets. And he's going through 2 layers of plastic, so I hope that would be strong enough. Heck, let me grab some magnets and just kind of feel them on there and see if they're strong enough. Because this will be a fun little thing. I'll get 2. Well, I know I'm going to do it anyway, right? Wait, hold on. Let me make sure before I put this together. Do I have to put something else in here first? I don't think so. I do have to put one thing in there first. All right. Well, let me just make sure. All right. Hold on. All right, so I've got that held in there, and now let me pull this part off. This is tricky to see if it'll hold. Oh, it's pushing away. There we go. But it flipped around, and it looks like it will kind of hold, although it moved to the side. All right, is it still there? Yeah, it moved to the side. All right, so yeah, it holds. Look at that. I don't even have to glue it. It'll hold just normally, but I will want to glue it. Otherwise, what's the point? That's good. It does hold. Oh, so I could actually put it in 3 different spots. I could glue in 3 different spots and have 3 different like lock hold places. I could glue it as far as that far, so it would be shooting, all the way off to the side. And there's nothing else going to obstruct that, I don't believe. Yeah, so that's basically it, right? That's how you want to do it. Line it up this way, glue it before you assemble the whole thing, and now you're going to have some really cool ideas. That's great. Wow, that'll be really fun. It'd be really fun. But the thing is, you gotta make sure it all lines up first. Make sure that what I would do is I would put a magic marker on the tops of all of the magnets, and so this way you make sure you don't see any marker when you're gluing them, so you don't get the polarity messed up. And so this way you make sure they're all the right way before you glue it in. Yeah, so that would be really fun. So that's what I'm going to do with the next one. I don't mind not doing it on this one because I'll probably end up gluing this one in place because this is going to be my more standard one. I think I'm going to put some. I might go with a different color scheme on the next one. I'm not 100% sure yet, but yeah, I haven't. Oh boy, these are hard to get back in here though. Come on, get in there, get in there. There we go. There we go. But yeah, I'm thrilled. This is, I think, the biggest thing probably the biggest mass they've done. The ATST is certainly the tallest, but this is definitely one of the biggest that they've ever done, and I love it. Absolutely love it. So, let's see, what else is going on today? I posted my review for Unmatched today. Be sure to check out Unmatched. It is super cool. Honestly, one of my favorite new games in a long time. And it hardly has any views right now. I don't think that many people are interested because the hotness is all on Armada, X-Wing, and Legion right now. Also, X-Wing news, we have some pretty cool speculation videos coming up on that here very soon, so stay tuned to that. Also, be sure to check out Luxury Playstyle and use that code Crabbok VIP. You're definitely helping out the channel if you do that. But Armada news, I started a Facebook group for Armada. If you guys are Armada players, definitely be sure to check out the Facebook group. Now, what that actually is there are a lot of Facebook groups, I think, for Armada, but I don't think there are any that are like dedicated to just being Star Wars Armada. Like if you search, what happened to me is I was searching for Star Wars Armada Facebook groups because like the Legion Facebook group is really, just a comprehensive overall Legion kind of group, right? It's straightforward. It's just settled on being a Legion Facebook group. All right, so I'm not going to glue this right now because I want to reverse I want to mark all of my magnets on the right way. But so the Legion group is really, really good for that. However, one of the things that's lacking right now is an Armada group that's kind of the same thing. Because all the Armada groups are like a local Armada group. Like, hey, this is for, Armada in this region, or Armada, online play or something like that. Oh, we got a super chat from Bleed Green. What is going on there, Bleed Green Productions? They're saying they should have given a promo for all the delays. Yeah, I understand that. It would have been nice. It would have gone a long ways towards I know that a lot of this stuff is out of their control, but the AAT at the bare minimum was supposed to have shipped last year, right? Like there's only so many delays that you can kind of cut them slack before you start getting a little upset, because some things are a little ridiculous, and I like to cut them slack. And I've done that. I've been really nice to them for a long time, but this upsets me. Oh, I'm gonna paint this light right here. This looks like it's a light. I don't even think you're gonna see yellow on there, but maybe. But yes, I thank you for the support, Bleed Green, by the way. Appreciate that. Am I going to paint one AAT in Separatist style? Isn't that what... I thought this was in Separatist style. Isn't this Separatist colors? Or is this is Trade Federation colors, isn't it? Yeah, this is Trade. So I guess, is Separatist like the blue and chrome or whatever that... Because I'm thinking of doing something kind of like that. Because I've got a little bit of the primer left for Citadel's. We got this metallic primer that I did my B2 battle droids. Yeah, blue and grayish. Yeah, and I'm gonna probably do something a little bit like that. I don't know if I'll do blue, but I might. I mean, I don't think that's a bad option. Honestly, I think that's actually a pretty solid option. I want to get some metal, and I want to do a little bit of dry brushing of like some metallic on the guns. That'd be a fun one. Let's see. I'm using Green Stuff World metallic paints. These are, I think Green Stuff World has some great metallic paints. They're really, really slick. One thing I will say about the bottles, I love the dropper bottles, but they do get stuck a lot. So I always keep thumbtacks close by, because they will sometimes get kind of clogged. Oh man, the metallics need to be shaken really, really good because they separate, and then you get all the black kind of activator, and then yeah. So I'm gonna shake the heck out of this thing really quick. It looks like I'm doing something else, but I'm not. I'm just shaking this up because it looks straight up black. There we go. There we go. We got it out. All right. So I'm gonna dip. I got a thicker brush here, and I'm gonna dip that into some of this anthrax metal and make it kind of dry. Oh, and I dropped it on my pants. That's cool. Now I got metal on my pants. Ah, all right. And just kind of go over that nice. I don't know. That's actually so dark I don't even barely notice it. But it's got a shine to it. I don't know if the light's picking it up as much. It's a little shinier. What do I think of 9th edition Warhammer? I honestly don't play Warhammer, so I really don't know anything about it, unfortunately. I probably should at some point. All the miniatures stuff that I do. I tried Kill Team briefly, but didn't like the system. I didn't like the way that you rolled dice and stuff. It was way too complicated just to see if you got a hit on somebody or not, and I was not a fan of that. What's better, I think, is Warcry. Warcry is a little better. Warcry seems cool. I just don't want to get into it right now. But I'll say this, Warcry is a definite improvement. Iden and Cassian just shipped from Miniature Market. I wonder if FFG is doing this on purpose and they're shipped to local stores first as a way to, and I wouldn't have any a problem with that at all this time. If they shipped to local stores first to try to kind of boost them up from all the local stores that got hurt when they had to close down. So if that was like their way of just saying, hey, that's that would actually be awesome. I would rescind all of my criticism if that was part of the plan. I would love something like that. Actually, and I love stories like that too. Like, I love hearing a company that I support is doing good things or whatever. I do love that. All right. This is gonna be fun once it's done. But yeah, I definitely wanted a Trade Federation AAT because of all the Naboo stuff. It's more iconic, in my opinion. Now, if I do a silver or a gray and blue one, I don't expect I'm going to paint that Federation logo on there. Maybe. Oh, you know what? I just realized I missed a little spot with the airbrushing right there. Oh, well, I'm never going to see it. I'm not going to put this color mixture because this is layers. This is like a bone prime and then like an orange over top and then like a flesh over top of the orange to kind of get this kind of look, because you can see it's not super smooth. It's got hues and stuff to it, and that's how I wanted it to be. I wanted it to kind of have a fade effect and everything. But man, I'm not mixing all that again. That'd be I think I'm gonna do these. I have to go look up some pictures because these little dots on the side, like I must have grabbed this one before it was dry to turn it and like what knocked some paint off. But you know, I think I need to like do these dots a certain color or something like that. And even if not, I could just make it it doesn't have to be exactly Trade Federation, I would guess, right? I can make it my own, right? I was wondering, Ancred, thanks for leaving a comment here. I was wondering, do you think Senate Guard would be a good core for the Republic? I think that makes more of a Special Forces, to be honest. It makes more of a Special Forces because, like, it goes along with Royal Guard. I also would guess that Magna Guard will be coming, and I would also guess that they would be Special Forces too. They just, they seem like they fill that kind of role. However, I could also easily see them being core, especially if you're going to have like maybe they're not as good as Imperial's Royal Guard, and maybe they're just like a weaker version, and that thus they become core. I could see that being a thing. That's a possibility. Kyle's looking for some Republic Commandos. Yeah, I think that's going to be really really nice. Senate Commandos or Duchess's Guard. Oh, the Mandalorians. Man, I can't wait to see what they do for Mandalorians. Like honestly, that's really exciting. Like thinking about all this stuff they can do, not just from the show, or not just from the Mandalorian, but for all of the Mandalorian stuff we got out of Clone Wars and Rebels. There is so much Mandalorian culture that can go into gaming, but I don't even know if Legion is really the best outlet for it. Like I almost want them to make a whole new game that focuses on the Mandalorian, or that really that works. Like actually, I think so. Here's my thing. I think Outer Rim might be the way to do the Mandalorian, right? You could do so much. You could do an entire Mandalorian expansion just for Outer Rim. I think that would be super super cool. And I think it would work. I think it would work really, really well. And when I had the flesh color up, I did the faces for Cassian and Iden. But the problem is, after I did, like just as a kind of a base coat, I figured I would go back over it again. But like I had the color already loaded up. But then I went back and did her in black, and I thought I could just manually control the flow and not get any black on Iden's face. But I got black on the bottom of Iden's face, so she looks like she has a 5 o'clock shadow right there. So I'm going to have to just do that all over again. I did decide to keep the regular helmet also. So after I paint that, that's going to go on her base, like right there or something like that. Or I could always attach it to like her helmet or attach it to her helmet. It is her helmet. Could attach it to her belt, like she has it hanging or something like that. But I feel like that's going to look awkward, So I like the idea of it on the ground, like by her feet. I think that'll be a cool look for her. I think that'll be cool. Yeah. And then we've got Dio just primed in black right now. Yeah, but oh man, it's gonna be fun. I haven't painted in a long time. I've been trying to catch up on some podcasts, and there's no audiobooks. Like the Thrawn book didn't come out yet because I love painting and listening to an audiobook. Like that is some of the sweetest stuff as far as I'm concerned. Do you think we'll see more units that can play in multiple factions? Absolutely. I want to see, I want to see another version of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I want to see Obi-Wan for the Rebels, like as doing infiltrate and stuff like that, or maybe not infiltrate, but I want him, sneaking around the Death Star, disabling a tractor beam, like working the objective. I want to see Obi-Wan Kenobi as an old man for the Rebels who's built to be an objective-based player. And if he draws his lightsaber, then all hell breaks loose. But if he doesn't, then you can win. Krell, General Krell would be amazing. I don't know. I think you just make General Krell straight up separatist, though. I don't want to see General Krell as Republic right away. I'll tell you why. Realistically, right now, we've got so many Republic Jedi that we could do, but we don't have as many separatist Force users. So it just like instead of trying, taking him and saying he needs to be dual faction, I'm like, no. The need is way more for, and I think you need to address the need The need is way more to have another separatist force user, and he's a great candidate from that. He was working for them the whole time anyway. It would make more sense if you had some kind of traitor mechanic. So you could even, I mean, like right now, the closest thing I could think of is to give General Krell incognito, right? So that the Republic doesn't shoot at him right away until he attacks. That kind of works, especially for somebody who's going to be generally a melee powerhouse. They won't be. He'll be able to have the safe approach, right? He'll never get shot while he's moving in. So I feel like that's how you do General Krell. If you make him separatists, give him like 4 dice, 4 red die melee weapons, and give him assault, or arsenal 2, something like that. Or you just give him an 8 die weapon or something. But make him expensive and make him a melee monster. Oh, yeah. But the hard thing. Actually, no, I would like it if he had 2 weapons, but and give him Arsenal 2 and he can split them. So he can move into melee like with 2, like that would be his thing. You give him force push, or maybe he has a force pull ability or whatever where baked in, or he can take another unit at range 1 and pull it into melee with him. And he can do this even when he's already in a melee. And then it makes sense for him to split his 2 lightsabers up and attack 2 different, 2 separate forces. That would be fun. Let's see. So we got the Wookiees here. The Wookiees are going to jump on this thing and try and take it over. I know. These guys are going to look good when they're painted too. When they're, they just kind of like got that base coat on right now. But the problem with Wookiees is they all kind of look the same. I can't wait to see Wookiees for the Republic too. And more of the Battle of Kashyyyk, because like that was a cool one. You got to see a lot more vehicles from too. We got to see more vehicles in these factions. Also, I'm excited about that. Generic Jedi Knights, oh yeah. Maul, absolutely, I cannot wait. Dude, I did a whole video and it was silly. It was really silly, but talking about Darth Maul, where I was kind of trying to pretend I was Darth Maul or something like that. Asajj Ventress, yes, please. I mean, there are so. Some of your comments are addressing me, not saying there weren't that many Force users in the Separatists. I get that. Yes, we have Asajj and we have Maul. We even have Night Sisters. Although I don't know if all the Night Sisters qualify as Force users. I think they would be it's certainly a ranged core unit. And then some you can, and there's a lot of stuff you could do with Night Sisters and Night Brothers, but. Mother Talzin, I could even see being a Force user, but still, you really have only kind of just those handful, right? And there's, and there's a few more. You could do Savage, Opress, but the Jedi have like hundreds, right? You got so many Jedi Knights, and there's a lot that are just. But the big thing is a lot of them are obscure. So, Dooku's first apprentice. I don't even remember Kamari Vosa. Was that from Clone Wars? Do you think they will ever do Cal Kestis and the Inquisitors? Yes. Bleed Green. I want to see Wookiees with the rifles. Will you see them holding in Return? Yes. I think we'll get a separate. Now, here's the thing. I think we'll get a separate type of Wookiee. I wonder if when they do the Wookiees, they will address the Wookiees that already exist, like allow them to have some additional value. Whether it means you can also bring them side by side, maybe the Wookiees that'll come in will be for Republic will be like core instead of special forces, and thus somehow enable some kind of cross faction Wookiee sub faction. Combining these Wookiees and those Wookiees together, like that would be cool. I would love to see Wookiees as core for Republic. Like that would be really cool. Imagine 6 regular Wookiees from Kashyyyk combined with 3 Special Forces Wookiees, like that with Yoda as commander, something like that. Oh my goodness, that would be so cool. Might not be as tournament viable, but I'm in the mood for theme right now, right? When I think about it and speculate, I feel more theme than what's mechanically going to win me World Championship, right? You could call them the same thing with different stats, maybe. I think it's just opportunities to I think a lot of people will want to see a Wookiee sub faction. You've got a couple of names. You got Tarful, who would be a great commander for Wookiees. And of course, let them work with the Jedi. They're already friendly with the Jedi. So also in regards to the Cal Kestis, or I don't remember if I have to play it again if it's Cal Kestis or Cal Cestus, but from Cal from Jedi Fallen Order. They've already done Iden Versio, right? And she's EA video games. So yeah, I think we'll see Cal. And I was talking about more Jedi before. There are Jedi that are untapped that you can add to every single faction, or I should say, Force-using, lightsaber-wielding characters that you can add to every faction. And I have a question for you guys, though. Here's my question for all of you. Okay, Rogue One. All right, I don't think they're done with Rogue One yet. We talked about Rogue One in one of the Double Critical podcasts. Chirrut Imwe. All right, we know Baze and Chirrut have to be coming, right? They have the whole the counterpart option right now. Baze and Chirrut, that sounds cool. Is Chirrut Imwe going to have a Force icon? Is Chirrut Imwe going to have a Force icon? I mean, like, look, I don't think we've seen anybody that has only one Force icon yet. Might make sense for Chirrut to have just one, right? It's a really tough call because I don't think you have to give him one because you can have his command cards kind of represent his limit, his attunement with the Force. But the problem is if you do give him one, like you kind of open up the possibility for him to have Force push. And it's like, he couldn't actually use the Force in that way, but because there's some Force upgrades that makes sense, and then there's some Force upgrades that are like, so like I think you give him a Force upgrade. Plus, it's more fun, right? And maybe you even go so far as to say you can equip anything here except Force push or whatever, maybe, but or an easier way would just be to give him a command card or two that let him do something cool that's like Force related, Maybe he would be able to, like, I would like for his staff, have a light rifle or a light bow thing card for it where he can take a shot, like he gets like an impact 5 shot against whatever he wants, something like that. Like I would love that. He gets one big anti-vehicle shot during the game, and that was kind of like him using the Force because he obviously used the Force to aim against a TIE fighter, right? So I think you give him one. The staff attack should be awesome though, and I think it would be kind of like Jin's, where it has suppressive. I could see that. But no, Chirrut's also going to come with Baze Malbas. I almost expect for sure they're going to have to be counterparts and be in the same unit. So like that whole aspect sounds really cool. I'm excited to see Chirrut and Baze. And I wonder if they will also have that heavy weapon option where they can go into other units. Like, wouldn't it be cool if Chirrut was a personnel and Baze was a heavy weapon, right? Like, wouldn't that be cool? And maybe Chirrut can be a personnel card, and his special ability says you may ignore the personnel requirement when equipping these to Pathfinders. So maybe a unit of Rebel Pathfinders can have Chirrut and Baze in there, and even though Pathfinders don't have a personnel, right? Kind of like how electro binoculars can go on B1 battle droids. I think you do something like that. That would be cool. And also Pathfinders could use the help, and that could also give people a way to play 3 Pathfinders since you only have the two heavy weapon options since they're all unique. I think it would be fun. I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I love just brainstorming and spitballing and seeing what else they're going to come up with. But yeah, so I'm having fun with these guys. I'm going to finish putting this AAT together probably later tonight because I got to go back to work. I've been talking to you guys for so long. But super fun. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Thanks for the super chat, Bleed Green. Thanks for you guys for all your continued support. Be sure also to check out the merchandise down below. We've got new face masks. There's a Boba Fett one, there's a Ahsoka Tano, there's a Darth Vader one. We've got double critical ones if you want to support the podcast. And there's t-shirts down there as well for like Legion shirts, Armada shirts, X-Wing shirts. All of that stuff does help support the channel. So, and you get some cool swag that you can wear, Plus, hey, if you go to Adepticon or Gen Con next year, we may still be wearing masks. All right, we may still have to wear masks. And so these are, they're gator necks. They're also good in cold weather. They're also really good in cold weather. You can pull them up, cover your face, cover your ears. Pretty cool stuff. Will Double Critical ever go on Spotify? I don't know. You're the first person to ask me about that I can recall. So I don't really know the first thing about getting it on Spotify. I might look into that. I don't know if there's, if it's worth it or not, but I don't know if they charge or anything about that. So that's something I haven't looked into at all yet. So I'll keep that in mind. All right. Let's see what else. Let's see. What's going on, Weevil Warrior? Yeah, you just caught. We're about to sign off here. That's going to be about mostly it for the day. So tomorrow, I've got Vital Assets coming. We're going to be talking about Vital Assets tomorrow morning. My videos go live 7 a.m. Each morning, and we are going to be talking. There's probably some more Nemesis before too long. Nemesis. Also, Armada and X-Wing videos are coming up. Some cool new ideas for Armada that I've got for you also. Those are going to be coming up later this week also. And the giveaway winner I should be announcing early next week. And then of course the next giveaway will start like almost immediately after that. So yeah, that's just some admin stuff, some housekeeping. Big thanks to patrons. Ben says, "Oh no, you painted it Naboo and not Clone Wars." Well, don't worry, I've got two. Don't worry, I've got two. Naboo was more iconic for me because we've got to get Gungans at some point, and I've got to be able to do my flat terrain, right? Like flat maps for Legion, right? We've got to be able to do flat maps for Legion. You know what I'm talking about. Flat maps, it's just the way to go, right? All right. I'm going to talk to you guys later. Yeah, we got to have Jar Jar. We got to have all of that stuff. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.